Friends, let's start with one of the most important topic of CT8, that is option. Option, one of the part of derivatives. You all must be knowing there are three major derivative products. One is forward or futures. Then second is options, and third is swaps. We are talking about the second important portion, that is options. There are two types of options. One is like a call option, and the second one is put option. Let's first start with call option. Normally, students find it quite difficult, but the reality is not that true. It's not that difficult. If you understand it well, it's very simple exercise. Let's try to understand the call option first. Call option is a right to buy. I emphasize on the word right, R-I-G-H-T, right to buy. You're not buying, you're getting a right to buy. What to buy? If you have a right to buy anything, any damn thing, we call that damn thing as underlying asset. So in call option, what we are acquiring is a right to buy any asset. Asset can be gold, physical assets. Asset can be financial instruments like bond, shares, etc. Or asset can be even the interest rates. Okay? So it is right to buy underlying asset at a specified fixed price, that's called as strike price or the exercise price, on or before a fixed date called maturity date, by paying a premium, that's called as call option. The important thing to understand here is that you are not buying any asset as such. What I am buying is only a right to buy. That means I am getting only a license or authority to buy something. Okay? That means I am getting only a right. I am not getting any asset right now. I am only purchasing a right to purchase an asset. So it's right to buy. The example makes things more clear. Say on 1st January 2017, on the first day, Mr. X purchases a call option from another person called jewelry dealer. One who deals in jewelry. Let's call him as Mr. J. He purchasing a right to purchase 10 grams of gold. You may be surprised that I have written purchase at two places, but that's a requirement here. Here Mr. X is purchasing a call from Mr. J. And call option itself says it's a right to buy or purchase something 10 grams of gold at the rate of 30,000, and he is going to purchase this on 31st of December 2017. So let's try to link the definition with the example. So first, Mr. X is buying this call, Mr. X is getting this call as a right. So one who gets a right, R-I-G-S-T, right, like a license or authority. Okay? So one who gets a right, who is called as long. One who sells the right, that means Mr. J. One who sells the right is called short. He is getting this right on 1st of January 2017. So that's the date of agreement. X is strike price, which is 30,000. He is getting this right to acquire gold at a specified price of 30,000 rupees. And the premium that he is paying to acquire this right is 2,000. And the maturity period is 31st 12/17. So we can say X is purchasing a call. X is purchasing a call where he is purchasing a right to buy gold at rupee 30,000 on or before maturity date. Maturity date is 31st of December 2017 by paying premium of rupee 2,000 now. So be careful. I'll repeat these words because these words are worth mentioning again and again, that in call option or in any option you get a right. You don't get an underlying asset. You don't get gold. You are only acquiring, what you are acquiring is only a right to purchase. You are getting only an authority to purchase it. So this is called a call option, which is a right to buy underlying asset at strike prices. Now then what happens with the right? You acquired this right on 1st of January 2017. Okay? Now, on maturity date, It can be exercised before maturity as well, but then right now we are concentrating only on maturity date. So in maturity date, there are 2-3 things which may happen. Let's come back here. Capital T is the maturity date. We say the price of the underlying asset. Underlying asset is the gold. The price of underlying asset at maturity, and maturity date is like 31st of December 2017. Now, imagine yourself that suppose ST means the price of underlying asset on that day becomes 40,000 rupees. Now, you imagine yourself to be Mr. X. I expect all my students to imagine that they are Mr. X. And they have acquired a right from a jewelry dealer to purchase the gold at rupee 30,000. Now, the market price of the gold on that day goes up to 40,000 rupees, but you still have the right. That document itself, the document of call option says that you have a right to purchase it at 30,000. So don't you wish to exercise the right? The answer is of course yes. Because if you exercise the right, you can get the gold at rupee 30,000. Or if you don't need the gold, you can settle in differences as well. That's what we call as payoff. So come back here. If ST is greater than X, suppose ST is 40,000 rupees. If 40,000 is more than 30,000, you still have a right to get the gold at rupee 30,000. So you are naturally going to exercise your right. You're naturally going to exercise your right because the right gives you the gold at rupee 30,000. Okay? But normally in derivative market like future options, we don't give any delivery at all. So all these things are settled normally in cash. So if you exercise it, your payoff becomes ST minus X. So in this case, if I take the example further, then I can directly say if ST is 40,000 rupees, which is more than 30,000 rupees. So in that case, we can say directly this 40,000 is more than 30,000. You still have the right to get it at 30,000. So you will certainly exercise this right, and the payoff to you will be 40,000 minus 30,000, that is equal to rupee 10,000. So that's the value of your call option as a document. The value of your call option document is rupees 10,000 on that day. Okay? And you acquired this document featuring call option. You acquired this document by paying a premium of rupee 2,000. So we can say directly your net gain is rupees 8,000. So I'm sure you now understand the difference between payoff and profit. Payoff says only the value of that document as at maturity day. But profit loss takes care about the premium also which you have paid at the beginning of the contract to acquire it. Okay? So this is called payoff, which is ST minus X, where ST is the price of the underlying asset. Underlying asset is gold. The price of gold less the exercise price at which you have agreed to purchase. Similarly, if ST is less or equal to X, that means suppose ST becomes 20,000 rupees. You have the right to purchase at 30,000 rupees. Now, will you exercise your right? You have the option to exercise. But by exercising the option, you can get the gold at rupee 30,000. And by not exercising it, you can get the gold at a market price of 20,000 rupees. So, given a choice, will you exercise the right? The answer is no. And option is nothing else but a choice. Option itself, literary meaning is the choice. So if you have the choice whether to go ahead with the contract or lapse the contract, naturally in this case you would wish to get the contract lapsed. The reason is very simple. If you wish to get the contract lapsed, you still can purchase the gold at the market price. Then what about the document? We have a document, like say a 2-3 page document which gives you a right. That document is called call option. Now what do you do with the document? You simply tear it off and throw it in the dustbin. Why? Because in this case, the document doesn't yield any money to you. If you don't give any money to you, that document is simply a paper a waste paper which is needed to be thrown in the dustbin only. So if the market price of the gold becomes 20,000 rupees, whether excise or not, the answer yes is wrong. We don't excise it at all. Okay? Because there is no fun when the market availability of the gold is at 20,000 and you purchase it at 30,000 from the jewelry dealer, makes no sense at all. And so the payoff will be simply 0. The value of that document which contains call option is simply 0. And whatever that you paid to acquire that document, to acquire that right, that itself is a waste. And so in this case, the 2,000 rupee which we paid at the time of the entry into the contract is simply a waste. It simply goes complete waste. Okay? So we then combine these two cases by one word. We can call it as payoff at maturity, or payoff at any other day, is equal to maximum of ST minus X or 0. So naturally, if ST is more than X, the value is positive, and so we excise it, and if we excise it, then the maximum ST minus X is 0 is ST itself. So we can say directly the payoff of call option, payoff is the worth of the call option, the value of the call option is either maximum of ST minus X or 0. Friends, do take care, payoff can never be negative because you have the choice. By acquiring the right, you have acquired a choice. And if it turns against you, then you don't excise it. Then you don't excise it. So payoff can never go negative. Payoff will be either positive or 0. So this is about the call option, where we have seen what is call option. Long is a person who acquires a right. Short is a person who sells the right. So in this example, you can say Mr. X is long, J who sells the call option is short, and that's all. So this is about the call option. Call option holder is bullish because he expects the market to go up and he wishes to exercise it so that he can really make a gain in future. So call option holder is bullish. He plans to make gain in case of teji, bullishness. When the market goes up, we call it teji. Similarly, whatever is the gain to Mr. X is also a loss to Mr. J. So by default we can say Mr. J is bearish, because in bullish, when Mr. X gains, J loses, and so Mr. J is bearish. Then comes, if we take a particular example, then we say there are two components of premium. The amount of premium that we are paying has two components. One is the intrinsic value and another is the time value. The example will make things absolutely clear to all of you. Suppose on 1st of January 2016 or 17, the market price of gold is rupees 120. It's better that we don't call gold, but that we take it as a share. If you take any share, then the market price of the share as on that date is 120 rupees. The excise price is rupees 100. The intrinsic value is that if I excise it today, how much will I gain? So if I excise it today, it will be maximum of ST minus X or 0. So it will be rupee 20. That means if I simply excise it today, now even though I am not excising it, you are just trying to find out what will be its value had I excised it today. Okay? So there is no need to excise as such. We are just trying to find out the value that if I had excised it today, then what would have been my gain. So in that case, the payoff will be rupee 20, which is nothing else but intrinsic value, which is ST minus X. And then still you are paying rupee 35. Why you are paying a premium of rupee 35 when the intrinsic value is just rupee 20? The reason is that between 1st January 2017 and 31st of December 2017, you still have a 1 year left for you to excise at any point of time in future. So what you are paying today is not because you are able to excise today, but you also get an opportunity to excise it in the near future of 1 year. So at that time, you may not get an opportunity to purchase. So what you do is that you pay rupee 15 extra you pay rupees 15 extra to take care that it may be exercised in future at any point before 31st of December. Okay, so that is what you are paying extra, that you get an opportunity to exercise it, if not today, but then you have an opportunity to exercise it within 1 year till December 12, and that's what is called time value. So time value is always the residual component of premium after deducting its intrinsic value. Okay? So finally, I am giving you a time just to read the entire board. So two components of premium are the intrinsic value, time value. Intrinsic value is payoff. It can be zero at most, but then whatever the residual component is called the time value. That's a very brief idea about the call option. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about it. They're very, very simple concepts, and I've tried to explain in a very, very simple layman's language. Thank you very much. If you find this simple to understand, I can explain other things also in a very simple layman's language. Myself is Naresh Jain. I am the director of Prime Actuarial Institute. You can reach me at this number 9327005149. It's always better that you send me a WhatsApp message or text message, so that whenever I am free, I will call you back. I am sure you will find the actual profession quite interesting and not difficult at all. I will be able to guide you in a simple language as well. Thank you.